Part 167. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1661. Chapter 1661. He seems to be used to being troubled by her. Qiao Chen's eyes narrowed and his brows furrowed. Shen Xin, you. Okay, don't mind me. I was just expressing my feelings casually. Since there must be a lot of people at night, I'd better give the gifts in advance. Shen Xin took out a box from her school bag and handed it to him. I made this myself. It's not a very expensive birthday gift, I hope you don't dislike it. She paused for a moment, then said half-jokingly, if you really dislike it, you can throw it away. But don't throw it away in front of me, okay? You have been a classmate for a few years, so you can give me some face. Qiao Chen pursed his lips and looked at her with a frown. Shen Xin didn't care whether he wanted to accept it or not. After putting the box into his hand, she turned around and left. She walked very fast and walked out of the classroom quickly. After she left, some of the classmates who were watching all around commented, Shen Xin is so shameless. Now the Shen family is like that, and she is still pestering Qiao Chen. Of course she has to pester her. Qiao Chen is now the young master of the Mo family. The Shen family is about to go bankrupt, and she must want to find a sponsor for herself. What better supporter than the young master of the Mo family? I never expected that Qiao Chen would be the young master of the Mo family. Didn't he say that his family doesn't have much money? There must be more girls who like Qiao Chen now. He is so handsome, and he is still the young master of the Mo family. He used to be very cold and no one liked him, but now he probably has higher standards. With his status, he must find someone who is the right match for him. If the Shen family is not in good shape, Shen Xin and Qiao Chen's family backgrounds are still quite good, but now Shen Xin is no longer worthy of Qiao Chen. Qiao Chen is actually the young master of the Mo family. Wow, oh, I can't help but love you, I can't help you. Qiao Chen listened to a group of people talking about Shen Xin, and they all said some unpleasant things. His face does not look very good. Hey, the classmates beside him sighed and said with emotion, I just said that Shen Xin is quite pitiful now. Did you hear that they were all scolding Shen Xin? In the past, they used to support Shen Xin in various ways. Yes. I really can't stand their faces. I can now understand why Shen Xin transferred to another school. If it were me in this school, I wouldn't be able to stay here. Hey, I think Shen Xin really likes you. I know you don't like her, but you'd better not throw away the gift she gave you. After all, it's her sincerity. If you don't like it, you can give mine. Qiao Chen glared at the person next to him. I didn't say I wanted to throw her away. Also, I never said I hated Shen Xin. Why does everyone think that he hates Shen Xin? Shen Xin also said the same thing. However, he never disliked her. At the beginning, he found her a bit annoying, but he just felt that she was causing trouble to his life. Later on, he seemed to get used to being bothered by her. He keeps rejecting her, not because he hates her. But he had never thought about falling in love at such an age. He is also very aware of the status gap between him and Shen Xin. If he can't see the hopeful feelings from the beginning, he doesn't want to invest time and energy into it. So, he was deliberately indifferent to her. He hoped that in this way he could force her back. Unexpectedly, his behavior was considered by others to mean that he disliked Shen Xin. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1662. Chapter 1662. This plot is too bloody. That's why Shen Xin is said to be shameless and stalker by so many people. You mean, you don't hate Shen Xin? The person next to her opened her eyes wide, as if she was surprised. Don't you always hate her mother? It's not because you see how pitiful she is now, so you don't hate her. Come on. It doesn't matter now. Jiao Chen squeezed the box in his hand. I've never hated her. I never said I hated her, it's just that you think so. Since you don't hate her, why are you so cold to her? We all think you hate her. Indifferent, Jiao Chen looked down at the white wooden box in his hand. I just don't want her to feel that there is hope. Isn't it wrong to reject someone like this? Because of him, Shen Xian is being talked about so badly now. He never knew that his rejection would one day cause such harm to her. So Shen Xian wanted to transfer to another school because she couldn't bear what others said about her? Thinking of this, Jiao Chen felt guilty. Of course that's right. If you don't like someone, it's best not to leave any hope for the other person. It's just. Just what? It's just that you are too cold towards Shen Xian. Jiao Chen, to be honest, with your attitude towards Shen Xian, it is normal for others to think that you hate Shen Xian. After hearing this, Jiao Chen remained silent. But Shen Xian will transfer to another school soon. Whether you hate her or not, it's probably hard to see her again in the future. After saying that, the classmate next to him sighed softly, his tone a bit he said melancholy, hey, I've been classmates for a few years, and I feel a little reluctant to let go. Jiao Chen still pursed his lips and said nothing. Are you reluctant to part with it? He seemed, a little reluctant to part with it. If he tries to save her, can he keep her? She has been harassing him for several years, and he has become accustomed to having her around. If she just leaves, it will probably be really difficult to see her again in the future. Jiao Chen felt as if something had stabbed him in his heart, and he felt a slight pain. Asterisk. Master Chen. Jiao Chen walked out of school and saw a Rolls-Royce parked on the side of the road. The driver saw him and immediately walked towards him. Reaching in front of him, the driver bent down and said respectfully, Master Chen. Jiao Chen nodded slightly, didn't you say you didn't have to pick me up at school today? This is what the master meant, the driver explained immediately. The master said that the young master has a special status now. It is safer for us to follow him when he goes in and out of anywhere. Jiao Chen pursed his lips and said nothing more. The driver turned around and walked to the back compartment, opened the door and said, Master, please get in the car. Wow, look, that's Jiao Chen. Is the person who picked him up a driver? Or is he driving a Rolls-Royce? I heard that Jiao Chen is now the young master of the Mo family. It seems to be true. I've also heard that Jiao Chen is the young master of the second room of the Mo family. It is said that for some reasons, he was separated from the Mo family since he was a child, and then he was picked up and raised by a family named Jiao. Now the Mo family has found him again and recognized him. Go back. This plot is too bloody. In the car. The car window slowly rose, blocking everything outside. Jiao Chen took the gift Shen Xian gave him in his hand and looked at it. After a while, he slowly opened the box. Inside is a black bracelet. There is a pendant hanging on the bracelet, which is a black and gold ring. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1663. Chapter 1663. You must be very happy. He picked up the ring and looked at it, and saw a line of words engraved inside the ring. Engraved, Jiao Chen, you will always be happy. In the box, in addition to the bracelet, there is also a note. There was a beautiful line written on the note, I made the bracelet myself and designed the collar myself. I have been preparing this gift for more than a month. I don't ask you to like it, but I ask you to accept this bracelet. Jiao Chen, although I know you don't like me, I still want to say that I really like you. From the beginning to now, I like you very much. Don't be frightened by my confession, I will really leave this time and I won't pester you anymore. No matter what happens in the future, I still want to say, Chiao Chen, you must be happy, you must be very happy, so that I can rest assured. Chiao Chen read every word on the note carefully. After reading it, my heart felt a slight sting again. He squeezed the bracelet that Shen Xin gave him, and after a moment, he put it on his hand. Asterisk. 2 hours before the birthday dinner. Chiao Mian chose the gift 1 day in advance. She chose a watch for Chiao Chen. It was not cheap and cost more than 1 million yuan. After the coming of age ceremony, it means that Chiao Chen has really grown up and matured. He can also have some valuable things. Moreover, Chiao Chen is now the young master of the Mo family. Even if she doesn't give them to him, he will not be short of valuables. As family members, Chiao Mian and Mo Yesi both went back in advance to help. When they arrived at Mazai, Uncle Zhang came out to greet them. Second young master, second young madam. Uncle Zhang hadn't seen Chiao Mian for a while, and when he saw her he smiled and said, just now the old lady was talking about second young madam will be home soon. Yeah. Chiao Mian said with a smile, then grandma and I have a good understanding. Definitely. Uncle Zhang looked at Chiao Mian, and then said, second young madam must have had a hard time filming, she seems to be a little tanned. The weather in F City is not as hot as that in Yunqing, but the ultraviolet rays are very strong. Chiao Mian has been here for a few months and has indeed gotten a little tanned. But among a group of actors, her situation is pretty good, the other actresses are all terrible. Well, the ultraviolet rays are very strong over there, and everyone in our crew got tanned collectively. Filming is hard, the second young lady must pay attention to her health. Asterisk. Walking into the hall, the old lady was sitting in the living room waiting for them. Hearing the sound of footsteps, the old lady raised her head and saw Chiao Mian and Mo Yesi walking in. A smile immediately appeared on her face. She called to the maid beside her to help her up. Seeing this, Chiao Mian hurriedly quickened her pace. Grandma, don't stand up, sit down quickly. The old lady has a disease in her legs and her legs will hurt if she stands for a long time. Chiao Mian knows this. She let go of Mo Yesi, walked quickly to the old lady, and helped the old lady sit down. The old lady held her hand and looked at it again and again, frowning slightly. Why do I feel that this girl Mian has lost weight and is a lot darker? Is filming very hard? Grandma, I'm not thin. Every time I come here, you always say I've lost weight. Chiao Mian covered her mouth and chuckled, I'm just a little tanned. Why haven't you lost weight? The old lady's eyes showed distress. I looked at my face and my face has become smaller, and my chin has become a lot sharper. I told you, you don't have to work too hard when you marry into our Mo family. Just treat this filming as a hobby, just do whatever you want, but don't tire yourself out. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1664. Chapter 1664. Chiao Chen seems to have changed a bit again. Anyway, your body is the most important thing. Our Mo family is not short of money, and we don't need you to waste your health to make money, do you understand? What's more, you are still a child of the Bai family. Even without the Mo family, the Bai family can make you prosperous and wealthy throughout your life. Well, Grandma, I understand. No matter what the old lady said, Chiao Mian would obey obediently. Because she knew that the old lady really cared about her and was really good for her. Master Chen. A few people were talking when Chiao Chen came down from upstairs. When passing by the maid called out respectfully. Jiao Mian turned her head and was stunned for a moment when she saw Qiao Chen walking towards them. Speaking of which, she and Qiao Chen haven't seen each other for a while. Qiao Chen is about to take the college entrance examination and is usually very busy. Jiao Mian was also very busy when filming. The siblings are very busy during this period. They occasionally chat via WeChat or on the phone, but rarely see each other. I don't know if it was her imagination. Jiao Mian felt that Qiao Chen seemed to have changed a bit after not seeing him for a while. But she couldn't tell exactly what had changed. He seems to be looking more calm. Not like before, always with a smile on his face. Now Qiao Chen has little smile on his face and eyes. He looks like he has matured a lot, but Qiao Chen always makes Jiao Mian feel a little distressed by this kind of thing. She felt that Qiao Chen was not as happy as before. "Sister, brother-in-law, you are back." Qiao Chen walked over and saw Jiao Mian. A smile appeared on his face. "Well, Chen, happy birthday." Jiao Mian took out the birthday gift she had chosen and handed it to him. "This birthday is also your coming-of-age ceremony. My sister hopes that you will always be happy." "Thank you, sister." Qiao Chen took the gift box and opened it directly in front of Jiao Mian. When he saw a very expensive watch inside, he was stunned for a moment. "Sister, you gave me such an expensive gift." Jiao Mian smiled and nodded. "Well, this year is very special. So it is appropriate to give you an expensive gift. After thinking about it, I still think it would be better to buy you a watch. Do you like it?" This brand is a brand that Qiao Chen mentioned before. For Qiao Chen and Jiao Mian in the past, this brand of watches was a luxury item that they could not afford. Now, it is easy for both siblings to spend money. "Yes, I like it." Qiao Chen took out the watch and looked at it. With sincere love in his eyes, he put the watch on directly. "Sister, I like this watch very much." Chen, your sister has finished her expression, and it's my turn." Mo Yesi took out a letter slowly and handed it to Qiao Chen amid the surprised and curious eyes of others. "Happy 18th birthday, this is my birthday gift to you, I think you will like it." Qiao Chen also had a little doubt in his eyes. He looked at the envelope and slowly reached out to take it. "Thank you, brother-in-law." "Brother-in-law, can I open it and take a look now?" Qiao Chen looked at the envelope in his hand and asked. He was really curious about what was in the envelope. Mo Yesi raised his lii. "I secretly got married to a super boss." Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1665. Chapter 1665. Madam did not come back alone. "Yeah." Mo Yesi nodded. "I still have the right to make this decision." "What do you think? Do you still like this birthday gift?" Qiao Chen's fingers holding the envelope seemed to be trembling slightly. After a few seconds, he raised his head with joy in his eyes and spoke with excitement. I like it very much. Brother-in-law, I really like this birthday gift. Brother-in-law, I took the trouble. Thank you, brother-in-law." Obviously, Qiao Chen liked the birthday gift Mo Yesi gave to Qiao Chen better than the watch given by Jiao Mian. Jiao Mian was very curious. What did Mo Yesi give Qiao Chen? It makes Qiao Chen so happy. It can be seen that Qiao Chen is really happy, with a sunny smile on his face that Jiao Mian has not seen for a long time. At this moment, Qiao Chen looked like the carefree, simple, and happy sunny boy he had been before. "Nice. You love it?" Qiao Chen collected the letter and held the envelope tightly in his hand, looking very precious. This made Jiao Mian more and more curious. She bumped Mo Yesi lightly with her elbow, raised her head and asked him, "What did you give Chen to make him so happy?" "You want to know?" "Of course I want to know." Jiao Mian pursed her lips and said with a taste, "I gave him a birthday gift, but he was not even so happy." "What surprises have you, my brother-in-law, prepared for him?" "I'll tell you later." The old lady felt happy from the bottom of her heart when she saw the juniors getting along so harmoniously. For her, home and everything being well are the best. However, the old lady's mood was a little affected when she thought of MRSMO who had not come back yet. At this time, a maid came over. The maid looked at the people in the hall and said with a strange expression, "Old lady, madam is back." The pleasant and harmonious atmosphere suddenly froze for a few seconds. The conversation stopped. The old lady frowned, turned her head to look at the maid with a displeased face and said, "Madam is back." "Yes." The old lady couldn't help but snorted coldly, "She still knows how to come back." "Old lady," the maid hesitated for a moment and then said, "Madam did not come back alone." "Didn't you come back alone?" The old lady was stunned for a moment. "Is it possible that she brought someone back with her? There is also a young lady who is following the madam." "What lady? Is she someone we know?" That young lady looked unfamiliar and had never been here before. The old lady frowned again. As soon as the maid finished her report, Chiao Mian saw MRSMO walking out of the corner of the hall. She did not come back alone, there was someone with her. She is a young woman who looks to be around 24 or 5 years old. She is not very beautiful, but she has a very good temperament and is also very well dressed. She looks like a rich lady. MRSMO was chatting with the woman as she walked. They seemed to have a good relationship, and MRSMO always had a smile on her face. After getting closer, MRSMO saw the old lady sitting on the sofa, and then looked at Chiao Mian and her brother. The smile on her face suddenly faded a lot. She stopped, looked at the old lady and shouted, "Mom!" The woman next to her also stopped after her. The old lady looked at MRSMO, who had disappeared for a while, and then at the woman standing next to her. Even though she was angry, she thought that today was Chiao Chen's birthday, so she couldn't bear it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1666. Chapter 1666, If you think it is, then it is. She pursed her lips and said calmly, "You are willing to come back. My sister-in-law told me that today is Mo Chen's coming-of-age birthday party. She asked me to come back to attend the party, so I came back." The old lady's voice was calm, and MRSMO replied in an even calmer voice as she was still holding a breath in her heart. The old lady didn't want to lose her temper on a great day like today. And even if she was dissatisfied with MRSMO before, after such a period of time, her anger has long since dissipated. "Originally I thought that MRSMO was back too. After all, we were a family, so there was no need to make things too tense, so we could simply give her a step down." Unexpectedly, as soon as MRSMO opened her mouth, the old lady became very angry. Did she mean that if the second lady hadn't asked her to come back, she wouldn't have planned to come back at all? The old lady endured it again and again, but she still didn't get angry. Just the expression on his face doesn't look good at all. MRSMO didn't seem to notice it at all. After she finished speaking to the old lady, she glanced at Chiao Chen and Chiao Mian standing aside, and then said in a strange tone, "Hey, we are all back. There are quite a lot of people today. I see you were having a good chat just now. I didn't disturb you, did I?" Chiao Mian looked at her with no expression on her face and called out lightly, "Mom." This shout was made for Mo Yesi's sake. If it weren't for Mo Yesi, Chiao Mian wouldn't even say hello to MRSMO. She no longer likes MRSMO, who is also Mo Yesi's biological mother. She didn't want Mo Yesi to be caught in the middle. Chiao Chen didn't have so many scruples. He didn't like MRSMO, so he didn't even bother to say hello. He won't like anyone who doesn't like his sister. For Chiao Chen, Chiao Mian is the most important person in his heart. After Chiao Mian said hello, Mrs. Mo's reaction was very cold and she didn't even respond. His dislike for her is written all over his face. Chiao Mian doesn't care either. She just needs to do what she has to do well, and as for other things, she doesn't force it. She doesn't care what Mrs. Mo's attitude is towards her now. Xiao, let me introduce you. Mrs. Mo ignored Chiao Mian and pulled the girl next to her and said in a friendly tone, "This is my son ACI that I mentioned to you. He is the same age as you this year. Your birthdays are only 1 month apart." The woman next to Mrs. Mo waited for her introduction, raised her head and looked at Mo Yesi, extended a hand generously, and said with a generous smile, "Hello, Mr. Mo, my name is Tanya, nice to meet you." Mo Yesi looked at the hand Tanya handed over, with a cold and distant expression on his face. He didn't say anything and just let Tanya keep her hand stretched out in the air. Tanya was stunned for a few seconds. The expression on her face was a bit stiff. Seeing this, Mrs. Mo took Tanya's hand, and then said to Mo Yesi with a cold face and dissatisfaction, "Asi, Xiao took the initiative to greet you, and this is your attitude? How can you let others do this? What do you think of our Mo family's hospitality?" The expression on Mo Yesi's face was still cold and indifferent. "Mom, this is just someone you know, not me. I always have this attitude towards strangers I don't know. Just now Mian greeted you, what about the attitude?" Mrs. Mo was stunned for a moment, then anger appeared in her eyes. "So you did this on purpose?" Mo Yesi said expressionlessly, "If you think so, then that's it." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1667. Chapter 1667. She has no status at all in this family. Mrs. Mo was about to get angry. "Madam, I'm fine." Tanya reached out and pulled her. Except for her stiff expression for that second, she quickly returned to normal and said with an elegant smile, "Mr. Mo is actually right. They are strangers to each other. There is nothing wrong with Mr. Mo's approach to strangers. There is nothing wrong with him, he has no gentlemanly demeanor at all." Mrs. Mo was afraid that Tanya would be angry and unhappy, so she quickly took her hand and comforted her gently, "Xiao, please don't be angry. As he just doesn't have a good temper. He treats everyone like this, and it's not directed at you." Tanya smiled and looked very magnanimous. "Madam, I can understand. I won't be angry about this kind of thing." "Xiao, you are really well educated," Mrs. Mo said with admiration in her eyes. "Your parents have taught you so well and you are so outstanding." Mrs. Mo ignored Chiao Mian in front of Mo Yesi. Also spoke softly to an outsider in front of him. Mo Yesi was always a protective person. He doted on Chiao Mian so much that he couldn't bear to see her suffer any injustice, even if it was from his own mother. His face darkened, he held Chiao Mian's hand, and never looked at Mrs. Mo again. Mian, let's go upstairs. There are still 2 hours until the banquet. If you are tired, take a rest first." After saying that, he took Chiao Mian and turned around to walk upstairs. Chiao Chen's face was also calm. He glanced at Tanya with a cold look, and then said to the old lady, "Grandma, I'll go upstairs to change my clothes and prepare in advance." Go. The old lady knew full well that Mrs. Mo was making everyone unhappy again, so she waved and said, "Get ready, tonight is your home court." "I'm tired too." The old lady was also angry with Mrs. Mo, and she still wanted to stay with her. She called Uncle John, "Help me go back, I want to sleep for a while." Uncle John came over immediately and carefully helped the old lady up. Before the old lady left, she took a deep look at Mrs. Mo. "Wenpei, is this the situation you want to see? I thought you should have thought it through during this time and figured it out. I know how to get along with these children in the future. It seems that I think highly of you." After the old lady finished speaking, she shook her head and let Uncle John help her leave. A period of time. The hall that was bustling just now suddenly became quiet. Except for the maids around, the only people left were Mrs. and Tanya. Mrs. face looked ugly. She lost face in front of Tanya. Even her biological son treated her with such indifference. She let Tanya see that she had no status at all in this family. Mrs. said aggrievedly and angrily, "I will never come back to this home again." "Madam, don't be sad." A strange color flashed in Tanya's eyes. She kept watching Moyesi and Xiao Mian go upstairs. After the two figures disappeared completely, she looked back from the spiral staircase. "I think they must have misunderstood you. When the misunderstanding is cleared up in the future, it won't be like this anymore." "What misunderstanding?" Mrs. said with her face turning green with anger. "It's not because of my scheming daughter-in-law. The family has always been fine in the past, and there has never been any discord, but since she married ACI. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1668. Chapter 1668 is waiting for you to join the game. This family will never have peace for a day. She provoked the old lady in front of me, and she provoked the old lady in front of ACI, so that now both the old lady and ACI have problems with me. I have become a villain who is disliked by everyone in this family. In front of ACI, I am an evil mother-in-law who treats his wife badly. In front of the old lady, I am also an evil mother-in-law who insists on having trouble with her daughter-in-law. What evil have I done to make my son marry such a bad guy? Now because of her, the family is in a state of chaos. As Mrs. talked, she felt extremely wronged and her eyes were red. She held Tanya's hand and cried to her aggrievedly, "Xiao, you keep urging me to come back. As you can see now, there is no place for me in this family. I shouldn't come back." Tanya's eyes flickered slightly. "Madam, this is because they still have misunderstandings about you. I just took a look at your daughter-in-law, and she doesn't look like a scheming person. If you can tell she is very scheming at first glance, is she really scheming?" Mrs. gritted her teeth as she talked about Xiao Mian. "She just knows how to act and pretend, and looks innocent and innocent, so Si and Lao only the wife would be deceived by her. She made my family very upset, and now I have become the sinner in the family. She is the most scheming. Anyway, I can't stay in this house any longer." Mrs. said angrily and aggrieved, "It's okay for me to be wronged, but now I've made you feel wrong too. I feel really bad about it." "Madam, please don't say that. I really don't feel wrong," Tanya said hurriedly. "The more you say that, the more regretful I feel." The more Mrs. thought about it, the angrier she became. She stretched out her hand to wipe the corners of her eyes and said angrily, "Let's go, I will never come back to this place again." "Madam, we are all back. Even if you want to leave, you should wait until after attending the banquet." Tanya took out a handkerchief and handed it over, and whispered softly, "You just left like this, they thought you were guilty." "Madam, you have done nothing wrong. This is your home. Why do you want to leave? You also said that your daughter-in-law deliberately provoked her. If the madam leaves, wouldn't she be in love with her?" Mrs. was stunned for a moment, then gritted her teeth and sneered, "Yes, you are absolutely right. I can't just leave. Why should I leave? This is my home. I will never let that broom go. The stars are as they wish. She must be eager for me to leave, so I won't leave." "Yes." Tanya lowered her eyes, "Madam, you must not fall into the trap. Madam, think about it carefully. First she separated you and Mr. Mo, then she separated you and the old lady, and then you were so angry run away. Does this step by step look like it has been planned a long time ago? It's just waiting for you to enter the game. After hearing this, MRSMO thought about what happened before, and her expression suddenly changed. Tanya glanced at the expression on her face, paused for a few seconds, and whispered softly, "Madam, she is also true-hearted, that's why she fell into her scheme. Now that you and Mr. MO and MRSMO are in such trouble, really it's not worth the loss. Madam, the more you make trouble like this, the more it will affect your relationship with Mr. MO and MRSMO. Then what do you think we should do?" MRSMO asked anxiously. "Now ACI doesn't want to talk to me anymore, and so does the old lady. How did I know she was so insidious?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1669. Chapter 1669. It's a pity that ACI doesn't have such a blessing. Madam, don't worry, Tanya comforted her patiently, since her original plan was to drive a wedge between you and Mr. MO. Madam, please don't fall into her scheme. The most important thing Madam should do now is to repair you and MO the feelings of the old lady. Madam, don't make trouble with them anymore. The more you are at odds with them, the more you will conform to that person's will. MRSMO looked at her and was silent for a while thoughtfully. Xiao, you are right. After a moment, MRSMO pursed her lips and nodded. I can't get into such a quarrel with ACI for a woman like her. It was because I was confused that I fell into her trap. It's a plan, I won't let her succeed again. Well, it would be great if Madam can figure it out. Xiao, thank you so much. MRSMO held Tanya's hand and said gratefully, if you hadn't told me this, I would have been so confused that I didn't know that I had fallen into someone else's scheme. Madam, you are so polite, Tanya said with a smile. Madam and I are destined to know each other, and we are also destined to be friends every year. Such small things are not worth mentioning. Besides, these things that Madam is encountering now, I have also experienced them before. Encountered. We all have had the same experience. Naturally, I don't want my wife to fall into other people's traps like me. However, I still think that Madam's daughter-in-law looks quite kind and simple. Maybe we are overthinking it. She is not that sinister and cunning person. Haha, this sentence elicited a disdainful sneer from MRSMO. She is simple and kind? If she was really simple and kind, would she have had the scheming to let ASI get the marriage certificate with her first? As soon as she married into the MO family, there will be no peace in this family. Anyway, I have to find a way to get her to leave ACI. She is the broom star. If she continues to stay in the MO family, it will only bring trouble to the MO family. Tanya looked at MRSMO's indignant look, pursed her lips, and remained silent. Hey, Xiao, I wish I had known you earlier. MRSMO finished indignantly, then looked at Tanya with a look of regret and said, you are so kind and sensible. If someone else's child can marry you in the future, that's a huge blessing. It's a pity that ACI doesn't have such a blessing. At this time, MRSMO had completely forgotten that she had said the same thing to Shenro before. Shenro is now a person whom MRSMO has long forgotten. I liked it before, and I really liked it. At that time, I really wanted Shenro to marry Mo Yesi. But the current Shen family is no longer worthy of the Mo family. Even if MRSMO still has some feelings for Shenro, those feelings are nothing compared with the interests. Her preference for Shenro was originally based on many conditions. If Shenro was not the eldest lady of the Shen family, no matter how capable and sensible she was, MRSMO would not consider letting her marry Mo Yesi. In MRSMO's case, the most important factor in choosing a future daughter-in-law is family background. Without a good family background, no matter how outstanding he is in other aspects, she will not consider him. Logically speaking, Chiao Mian has already met her requirements in terms of family life. It can be said that the Bai family is also the most suitable family for the Mo family. Looking across the entire Yunchinj, there is no unmarried girl who is more suitable for her son than the daughter of the Bai family. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1670. Chapter 1670. Sorry, I wronged you just now. The Gong family, the Yan family, and the Lu family are naturally good families. However, the Gong family only has an only son, Gong Zili, and the Yan family also has several sons. The Lu family does have a daughter, but she is already married and has a child. But MRSMO is still extremely dissatisfied. Moreover, her dissatisfaction with Chiao Mian became more and more intense. She would never allow this bad woman who deliberately alienated her from her son to stay with ACI. This kind of woman will only harm her son. So what if she is now the daughter of the Bai family? It's not like she grew up in the Bai family. Apart from her status, there is no difference between her and those poor girls from small families. The Mahist family's current position does not lack a Bai family to stabilize it. She could not leave such a broom star in the Mo family no matter what. MRSMO is now attracted to Tang Yat. She was calculating in her mind that she still had a son who was not married. She was sure that as long as Tang Yat saw Mo Shixiu, she would definitely like Mo Shixiu. MRSMO is very confident in her two sons and has no worries about their favorability in front of the opposite sex. With such a calculation, MRSMO couldn't help but think of Zhang Luli. She frowned and her face darkened slightly. Originally I thought it would be a very simple problem to solve this girl's problem. Who knew that what was originally planned would go unexpectedly, and that girl would now become a thorny problem? But no matter what, she would never let that poor girl continue to be with her son. She will never let the kill first and tell later thing happen again. She wants to nip all risks in the cradle. She called a maid over and asked, "Is the eldest master back today?" The maid immediately replied, "The eldest young master called me early and said that he was on a business trip abroad and could not attend Master Chen's birthday party." MRSMO felt a little disappointed. She took Tang Ya back to Mo's house this time just to see if Tang Ya and Mo Shixiu could meet first. But that's okay. By the time Mo Shixiu came back from his business trip, she could find a reason to arrange a meeting. "Xiao, I have an eldest son. You and his personality are very similar, and many of your interests and hobbies are similar. I think if you get to know each other, you will definitely have a lot of common topics. He is on a business trip today. Are you meeting him? When he comes back next time, I will definitely introduce you to him." Okay, Tang Ya smiled and nodded. "Madam's son must be very good. I look forward to our next meeting. It's still early and the party hasn't started yet. Can I take you around the house?" Then there's MRS Lao. Asterisk. Arrived in the bedroom upstairs. After the door is closed. Mo Yesi stretched out his hand to hug Chiao Mian into his arms, looked down at her with apologetic eyes and said, "Baby, I'm sorry, I wronged you just now." Chiao Mian smiled, "You don't have to say sorry to me, you haven't done anything to apologize to me. Besides, I don't feel wronged either." In the past, she might have felt aggrieved. Now, she doesn't care about MRSMO anymore, so naturally she won't feel aggrieved by MRSMO's neglect. She doesn't care at all whether MRSMO treats her well or not. All she cares about is Mo Yesi's attitude. Her husband is neither a mother's baby nor a filial person. He does not favor his mother no matter what happens. This is enough for Chiao Mian. End of this chapter.